In America, 70% of people over the age of 18 drink at least once a year, and just over half regularly drink each month. As with everything that makes us feel good, whether it's alcohol, marijuana, or that last slice of cake, everyone at some point in their lives stops and wonders if what they do is actually healthy. Everything's good in moderation. But is that even true? What even is this moderation everyone talks about? And is it even the same for different people? Humans have fermented beverages for about 10,000 years, and in that time, we've had a lot of exposure to it. It's safe to say that alcohol is both a tonic and a poison. The difference lies mostly in the dose. Alcohol's two-faced nature shouldn't come as a surprise. The active ingredient in alcoholic beverages, a simple molecule called ethanol, affects the body in many different ways. It directly influences the stomach, brain, heart, gallbladder, and liver. It affects your levels of lipids. Those are the cholesterols and triglycerides you might have heard your doctor talking about, and even the amount of insulin in your blood. There are a lot of negative effects of drinking alcohol. The American Institute for Cancer Research indicates that there is convincing evidence linking alcohol to cancers of the mouth, liver, breast, and colon. On top of the physical effects, alcohol plays a role in 1 in 3 cases of violent crime, 1/4 of all traffic fatalities, more than 10,000 deaths a year, and treating the effects of alcohol abuse costs about $249 billion a year. But for the casual drinker who doesn't get drunk and commit violent crimes or pretend like they're an extra in the Fast and Furious franchise, like my great audience, what does drinking do for you? Well, it can actually be pretty good for you. More than 100 studies have shown an inverse association between light to moderate drinking and the risk of a heart attack or other cardiovascular diseases. Moderate drinking in this case means having no more than 1 to 2 drinks a day for men and no more than 1 drink a day for women. This means that drinking corresponds to a 25 to 40% reduction in the risk of developing heart conditions. However, the negative effects on your heart from having more than 4 drinks a day cancels out these positive benefits and does more harm than good. This idea that moderate drinking protects against cardiovascular disease isn't all that surprising from a biological standpoint. Moderate amounts of alcohol raise levels of high-density lipoprotein, otherwise known as good cholesterol, and higher HDL levels are associated with greater protection against heart disease and tend to prevent the formation of small blood clots that can cause heart attacks and strokes. And over the last few decades, it's been firmly established that a person's genetics plays an important role in how alcohol affects a person's cardiovascular system. An enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase helps metabolize alcohol. The enzyme has 2 types, one that quickly breaks down alcohol and another that does it more slowly. Moderate drinkers who have 2 copies of the gene for the slow-acting enzyme are at a much lower risk of developing cardiovascular disease than those who have 2 genes for the fast-acting enzyme, and people with 1 of each fall in between. It's suspected that this is because the fast-acting enzyme breaks down alcohol before it can have a beneficial effect on your good cholesterol and clotting factors. Interestingly enough, what you drink, whether it be beer, wine, or vodka, doesn't matter that much, despite all the false hype red wine seems to get, since the active ingredient in all of them, ethanol, is the same. What's far more important is how much and how often you drink. Having 7 drinks on a Saturday night and then not drinking for the rest of the week is far worse than having 1 drink a day because it's difficult for your body to metabolize high amounts of alcohol at a time. In addition to overloading your system with a lot of alcohol at once, the regularity of consumption is important to achieve many of the cardiovascular benefits. On top of all the physical harms and benefits, the social and psychological aspects of alcohol can't be ignored. Many people use alcohol to relax socially and contribute to their mental health and well-being, although these effects can be a lot harder to quantify. On top of that, if you frequently drink too much, alcohol can easily have a negative effect on your social health. What makes all of this extra tricky is that the benefits and risks of moderate drinking change over a lifetime. In general, risks exceed benefits until middle age, when cardiovascular disease begins to account for an increasingly large share of deaths. If you're thin, physically active, don't smoke, eat a healthy diet, and have no family history of heart disease, drinking alcohol won't do much toward decreasing your risk of cardiovascular disease. And if you don't drink, there's no need to start. You can get similar benefits from exercise or eating healthy. And if you already drink alcohol or plan to begin, try to keep it moderate with no more than 2 drinks a day for men or 1 drink a day for women. So yeah, I guess alcohol is good in moderation, especially compared to other vices, but it's better to drink a little a lot than a lot a little, and alcohol's benefits increase with age. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Everything Science. If you liked it, consider dropping a thumbs up, and if you loved it, feel free to subscribe. See you next time.